As Ye Sow by Leo B Hart. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Reading by Bologna Times. As Ye Sow by Leo B Hart, Superintendent of Schools, Kern County. From Guiding Children in Democratic Living, 1942. California Elementary School Principals Association, Volume 14. Out of the East came a mighty flood of America's children. Tired, hungry, ill-clad children, products of the drought that drove their parents from the dusty plains westward over mountain and desert to California in search of a land that would give life and opportunity to them and their little ones. Endless days and weeks were spent sleeping on ditch banks, huddled around campfires, shoved into filthy sheds that reeked with musty odors and the stench of decaying foodstuffs and unsanitary waste. Weeks of labor in the boiling sun, hot, sultry, sleepless nights, only to await the dawn, then into the fields with droves of their kind. Thus the migrants moved about the valley unwelcome and unwanted, but their labors were needed for every crop. Like a wandering tribe, they roamed from camp to camp, from harvest to harvest, with the seasons. District schools everywhere were crowded. Special rooms, old condemned buildings, long out of use, were hurriedly put in shape for the migrants. Old desks were dragged from garret and storeroom for the newcomers, new desks for the local children. Over and over the same scene until it became the commonplace thing to see the pale, drawn faces, the dirty hands, the scraggly, uncombed hair, and the ill-fitting and worn-out clothes. Little feet were tough and brown and dirty and accustomed to the frosty earth that bit and stung. After months of lost schooling, months of humiliation and embarrassment for a band of helpless youngsters, great camps were built throughout the valley. Rent was cheap, accommodations were clean and wholesome. There was a chance to live again like human beings. Utility buildings provided washing machines, ironing boards, toilets, and showers. There was running hot and cold water for everyone. The recreation hall provided a meeting place for the camp folks, a half for plays and dances and every kind of wholesome entertainment, and a place to worship. The management of the camps was friendly, courteous, and helpful. Words of encouragement and help in finding work gave these wanderers a lift when sadly needed. The cooperative store supplied the wants of the campers at a minimum cost. From such a camp, our Arvin Federal School draws its 175 students, as fine a group of boys and girls as you can find in any of our public schools. Courteous, friendly, polite, happy children. They are proud of their school for the opportunities it gives them, for the atmosphere of helpfulness, of cleanliness, and love that emanates from every classroom and directs every activity. Their 7 teachers are of the chosen few, a selected group of especially trained and temperamentally adapted to the work they have to do. They are specialists in educational fields of instruction, essential to a complete and practical preparation for an active and productive life. In this school, manners, morals, etiquette, and health are major objectives. The trades and vocations, too, receive their full share of the students' time and attention. Music, dramatics, corrective speech and speech arts, sewing, cooking, weaving, painting, clay, woodworking, carpentering, plumbing, electrical wiring, farming, recreation, and counseling are activities that make up the daily routine. Every classroom is a workshop. In each are tools for all of the manual arts: saws, hammers, screwdrivers, braces and bits, rules, squares, and chisels. As we enter the room, a group of youngsters is seated on a semicircle around the teacher. She looks up and nods and smiles, and goes on with her work. A couple of youngsters leave their desks, greet us with a welcoming smile, and bring us chairs. Groups of children, all apparently of the same age, are working on different activities. Some are cutting pigs, chickens, cows, horses, and sheep out of 3-ply to take their places in the barnyard, already fenced in the area at the front of the room. The house, silo, barn, and machine sheds are all in place, giving a very definite impression that this is a unit on rural life. Some of the youngsters are making clay models of animals, trees, and trinkets. Some are painting, and others are busy writing stories, which we learn have to do with this dairy project. The walls are lined with poster boards on which pictures tell the story of the dairy business. There seems to be great interest here, and everything is orderly and businesslike. The atmosphere gives one the sense of freedom of action with a definiteness of purpose. These rooms, now light, airy, and spacious, with worlds of cabinet and cupboard space, provide a cheery environment. The long work bench with sink, faucet, and drinking fountain are features of each of the 7 temporary frame buildings that house this emergency school. The doctor and nurse from the public health department of the county have given each child a complete physical examination, and have received the full cooperation of the mothers who came from the camp to be present to get instructions on the care of their little ones, so many of whom are suffering the penalties of malnutrition and neglect. In the health room, with its full celloglass front making it light and warm, a dozen cots are utilized throughout the day in order that 100 children may receive the period of rest so sorely needed. A temporary classroom has been converted into a lovely and attractive cafeteria, where a hot breakfast and lunch is available to every child for a maximum charge of 3 cents. The food supply is provided by the surplus commodities and augmented by the donations of a group of public-spirited young women in a Southern California city who visit the camp frequently and believe in the value of the work being done. The 3 cooks are provided by the WPA. The kitchen is roomy and equipped with a fine new stove, electric refrigerator, a plentiful supply of cooking utensils, dishes, and cupboard space. It is unique in that it was once just empty space that separated 2 of the classroom buildings, but by utilizing adobe walls in front and rear, a wood floor, and a roof and ceiling, this waste space became an efficiently arranged kitchen from whence meals are served through openings cut in the end of the classroom that is now the cafeteria. Such is the ingenuity of those charged with the running of this novel school. The boys enjoy farm life in the open. With a new garden tractor, they plowed and prepared 2 acres of ground for the planting of potatoes, a crop which will net them a nice return and fill the coffers of their cafeteria fund. Fruit trees and berry bushes are being planted. Harvest will follow harvest, and with good luck the labors of these young migrant lads will not only bring them a knowledge of farming in this valley, but will point the way to better living for them as they leave to make their way after graduation. A grove of shade trees and decorative shrubs is in its 2nd year of growth. This provides a laboratory in horticulture and landscaping, and these migrant boys will soon be adding a touch of beauty to outlying district schoolyards through a free landscape service they contemplate with pleasure and no small degree of pride. 2 box cars and a lean-to annex are being converted into a 5-room cottage, which is to be the center of home-making activities for the girls. 1 maintenance man works steadily on the job, assisted every afternoon for 2 hours by a group of boys from the shop classes. This project provides the boys with training in electric wiring, plumbing, and carpentering, while the girls share in planning, designing, decorating, and furnishing. The cottage, with its living room, bedroom, bath, dining room, and kitchen, fills a real need in the all-important business of teaching the art of homemaking and management to these young people. Youngsters who come to this school are not always ready for polite society, but it takes but a few days for them to catch the spirit that pervades the school. Last year the teachers' registers showed a total enrollment of 145 pupils per teacher. Classes vary from 20 to 40 during the years, with a growing tendency on the part of parents to become permanent residents of the camp. The children are happy here. They want to stay, and we want them to stay, for we like them. There is no group in the country that is happier, more appreciative, or more polite than these boys and girls at Arvin Federal School. Discipline cases are rare. Property and individual rights are respected. Teachers and pupils here are sharing in a truly wonderful experience in democratic living. End of As Ye Sow by Leo B Hart.